check out our streaming schedule for this week. We've got tons of content in terms of the NFL and college football, as we're going live just about every single day this week. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single moment where we go live. And now, on with our feature presentation. November 11, 2024. It's week 10 in the NFL season. And as we're wrapping things up this week, we've got a Monday Night Football battle on our hands over at SoFi Stadium between the Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Rams. For the main team in our story, the Rams, this game feels like a must-win for them. They're playing pretty good football as of late, having won their last 3 games. The problem is that they started off 1-4, so they didn't give themselves a ton of wiggle room and a ton of room for error with that poor start. If you win this game and get back above 500 for the first time all season, you get right back in the thick of things for the NFC West division hunt, especially with how well San Francisco and Arizona have been playing as of late. Lose this one, and you've got an uphill climb the rest of the way, to say the least. So it is imperative that you beat a 2-win Dolphins team and find a way to win this one in front of a national television audience, which, yeah, we'll get to that. But before we do that, if you like learning more about the weird and the wacky history of the NFL and some of the dumb things that coaches have done, like what Sean McVay did in this game, then this is the place for you, because we talk about all things NFL history all the time with a new video every single day on this channel, as well as a live stream every single day. So if you like that sort of stuff, then be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Thanks in advance for your support as we try and hit 70,000 subscribers. So far, things are not looking good for the Rams, as they find themselves down by 11 points, trailing this one 23-12 with under a minute left. The Rams have the ball at least, but they need a miracle to win this one, meaning a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, an onside kick, and a field goal. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not likely, I'll put it that way. And after a second down pass falls incomplete, the Rams are faced with third down with roughly 45 seconds left at the 12-yard line. One more shot to go to the end zone and knock the touchdown off the board, and if it doesn't work, you kick the field goal and make it a 1-score game. The Rams' offense has been stagnant all day, but maybe they can find the end zone here. So let's see what the Rams have drawn up here on this all-important third down play. You're kicking the field goal on third down? Like it's Canada or something? You're kicking on third down? You know what? I don't even have the energy to do this anymore. Just play the clip.
Wasn't as clean as it should have been. On third down, they kick the field goal. And obviously you need 2 scores.
Whoop-de-doo, you got 3 points. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before we break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking in-depth looks at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something that looked bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something that looked awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Los Angeles Rams head coach Sean McVay. For as great of a coach as McVay is, and trust me, he is great, he has a tendency to make some head-scratching decisions. You can learn more about one of those decisions that he made last season by clicking the card in the upper right corner. And this is up there with one of his worst. This is up there with not just one of the worst decisions of his career, but one of the worst and dumbest field goals in the history of Monday Night Football. And I do not say that lightly. Is this the dumbest field goal attempt in Monday Night Football history? I wouldn't go that far. Raiders-Packers last year was a sight to behold in that regard. You can learn more about that by clicking the card in the upper right corner. But it's up there. Oh, it's absolutely up there. So with that being said, let's take a look at why kicking the field goal on third down when you're down by 11 points and you're at the 12-yard line is a really bad idea. And if you're thinking to yourself, hey, wait a second, isn't this eerily similar to what happened on Halloween with the Texans-Jets game and what DeMeco Ryans did with the Texans down by 11 points? Then absolutely, you're right. Absolutely, you're right on the mark with this. You can learn more about that decision by clicking the card in the upper right corner. I don't know why Sean McVay saw that game on Thursday night and thought that it was a good idea to replicate Ryans and his stupidity, but here we are. Here we freaking are. Because if he watched that game, or if he just had common sense in this spot, he know that kicking the field goal on third down when you're down 11 and at the 13-yard line is really stupid. In this spot, The Rams need to score twice. You need to get a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, and you need to get a field goal. In both scenarios, you need to recover the onside kick because you only have one timeout left. If you give the ball back to the Dolphins, then the game is over, as they can just take a knee and go from there. Now, there is a scenario where it makes complete sense to kick the field goal early. It makes sense to kick the field goal early if you can get the ball back without recovering the onside kick. Suppose you only had one timeout left and there was 150 remaining. In that scenario, I would have no problem kicking the field goal, because with how many timeouts you have left and with how much time is left in the game, if you try another play and then kick the field goal, or something happens and you're still in bounds, failure to recover the onside kick results in you not getting it back. But if you have no chance of getting the ball back if you can't get the onside kick, yeah, kick the ball on 4th down. Suppose you kick the field goal on 3rd down with 42 seconds left. The kick goes through the uprights with 39 seconds, and you have a timeout. If you don't recover the onside kick, the game is over. If you do recover the onside kick, that's obviously good, but you know what the problem is? Assuming the onside kick goes 10 yards, and you get at the 45-yard line, you need to go 55 yards in about 35 seconds, and you need to get the 2-point conversion, which is by no means automatic. If you try a play on 3rd down and get 12 yards to get into the end zone, let's say you get it to go and you score the touchdown. You go for 2, and now you know exactly what you need on the next drive, and you know whether or not you need a touchdown or if a field goal is good enough to tie it. Let's say you get the 2, and then you recover the onside kick. Assuming you recover at the 45-yard line, you only need to get 15 more yards to try a field goal. So by kicking the field goal early, you need to go 55 yards in order to tie the game. By trying a play, if it works out, you need to go 12 yards on that play, plus 15 yards in order to tie the game. So do the math, and you need to go 27 yards. Let me ask you this, Coach McVay. Which seems easier to do? Go 27 yards or go 55 yards? 27 or 55? It's the smaller number. Of course it's the smaller number. It's like asking what's easier to carry, a 27-pound object or a 55-pound object. By kicking the field goal on 3rd down, you literally double the workload for your team for no reason whatsoever. If you try a 3rd down play and it doesn't work out, you can always kick the field goal on 4th down, and instead of kicking it with 42 seconds, you kick it with 37 seconds, which isn't that big of a difference considering the alternative. Is a 5-second difference when, regardless of what happens on the onside kick time-wise, you have no chance at winning if the Dolphins recover, worth putting more on your team's plate and doubling the yardage that they need to get a tie? Is a 5-second difference when, regardless of what happens on the onside kick time-wise, you have no chance at winning if the Dolphins recover, worth having the game potentially come down to a 2-point conversion versus the alternative of trying for the touchdown and knowing whether you need a field goal or a touchdown on the ensuing drive, especially considering the fact that if you kick the field goal, there's no chance to win the game in regulation versus if you go for the touchdown, there is a chance? It just doesn't make a ton of sense. You reduce your team's chances at winning the game for no reason whatsoever. Again, there are very valid moments where you can try an onside kick after getting a field goal and not go for the touchdown right away. There are very valid moments where you can try going for the field goal first and then getting the touchdown. This was not one of those moments. And what's amazing is that I can't even play what Sean McVay said during the press conference about the decision to kick the field goal early, despite everyone knowing it was wrong except for him, and despite everyone questioning it. The reason why? Because no one asked him afterwards about why he did it. No one. Why he kicked the field goal remains a mystery, because no one, not one person, bothered to ask Coach McVay about his decision to kick it early. On one hand, I guess it didn't matter in the end, seeing as the Rams did not recover the onside kick. So whether or not the Rams got a touchdown on that drive or a field goal, if we assume the onside kick result would have been the same either way, the Dolphins would have won the game. On the other hand, this play deserves to be criticized and questioned, seeing as it was late in the game, seeing as it was the last time the Rams touched the ball, and seeing as no one in their right mind besides McVay and DeMeco Ryans apparently would have done something like this. No one. Increasing the potential workload for your team by doubling the yardage when you don't have to, you can just do it one play later, makes no sense. Decreasing the chances that your team wins the game when you don't have to makes no sense. Decreasing the knowledge that your players have of knowing what they need on the final drive when you don't have to do that makes no sense. Basically, no matter how you want to slice it, in this situation, kicking the field goal makes no sense. None at all. Now, as for the Rams when it comes to the game between these two teams behind me right here, this loss puts a big dent in their playoff hopes. They're not out of it by any means. They're 4-5. It's obviously not good, but they're only 1.5 games back of the division lead with Arizona and San Francisco ahead of them right now. 1.5 games back with 8 to go is not insurmountable by any means. Having said that, the Rams still have to play Buffalo, and they still have to play Philadelphia. If we assume those 2 games are losses, because they'll definitely be the underdogs for those games, they have to run the table the rest of the way outside of those 2 games. I don't think 9-8 is going to be good enough in this division or going to be good enough in the wildcard hunt. You got to go 10-7 to have a shot at the postseason in the NFC. In the AFC, different story, but in the NFC, I think 10 wins is what's going to get you in. So this loss was a big, big blow to the Rams in that regard. They're not out of it, but they have a lot of work to do. And if they have coaching performances like this and playing performances like this, they're not going to make the playoffs anytime soon. So what do we learn from all of this? If you don't need to kick the field goal, then guess what? Don't kick the freaking field goal. If it's 3rd down and you need 13 yards to score a touchdown, then try and go for the touchdown. If you have 2 options, and one option gives you a chance to tie the game by going 28 yards, and the other option gives you a chance to tie the game by going 55 yards, then take the option that is 50% less work and 50% less distance. If distance is an issue, and if time isn't an issue, seeing as there is no scenario where you win the game regardless of the order that you score, if the Dolphins recover the onside kick, then don't kick on 3rd down if you do not have to. And after what happened in Week 9 with the Texans-Jets game on prime time, and what happened this week, I can't believe I have to say this because it's common sense, but it needs to be said for the 1,000th time. Don't kick the field goal on 3rd down. If I had a nickel for every time a team did something like this in the last 2 weeks, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. And quite frankly, it's 2 nickels too many. Because when all these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And check out my other channels, JG8 for the history of college football, JG7 for the history of baseball, and JG9 News, where we talk about all things happening in the NFL. Join me every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll play live NFL trivia for cash prizes. And make sure to join me live, as we're on stream just about every single day. And thanks to all our Patreon members and our YouTube members for helping out the channel. See how you become a member and show your support financially in the description down below.